Hey, good morning, guys. It's Sunday, August 12th. Pretty quiet night with not a lot of things going on and not a lot of thoughts for me to be commenting on. So today will be a little bit shorter video for me. I'm never short. Um, but a couple of things are very cool. Um, so yesterday I made it back to the Hobart, Indiana area to go see some friends I thought were really special to me on my journey. And I have somebody from home, Jamie, here with me, and I thought it would be cool to, as I talk about folks, to know that they're not, that they really are the way I explain them. So it was good to kind of take her back into town and show the town of Hobart. So we went back yesterday and we met Jim and his dog Misha. Like I said, this whole thing really started with Jim in Hobart and the warmth there. So that was kind of neat to be able to spend some time with him. And then from there, we stopped up into town and had a quick appetizer and a beer and met some cool folks in town. And then we went over to one of the greatest characters this world has ever seen, the Papa Joe's. And I got to be honest with you, I was pretty beat up, I guess, from sleeping on the ground that night. And I have a muscle relaxer. It hits me pretty heavy sometimes. I'd taken one before I went. So, and being as tired as I was really was hitting the wall. So, we went over there. Didn't stay very long though, but Jamie got to experience the life of Papa Joe and Cindy and Pete. Good old Pete. Love Pete too, man. And speak enough about Pete, honestly. Well, he's like the Costello to, or maybe I should say he's the Abbott to. No, he's the Costello to Papa Joe's. Habit. But anyway, so we got home and I slept really, really well. A couple of things I thought were ironic. Yesterday when we got to the hotel, I put on the TV and ESPN had on something called My Wish, and about these young kids that all have wishes of seeing some of their favorite sports heroes, and just how they're welcomed and how these young kids are overcoming things like cancer and other rejected livers and things like that. So again, guys, if you care about me at all, know that whether it's with me or on your own, I don't really care. But I would love to do it. I would love for us to do it as a group. I would love for a bunch of nobodies, not nobodies, but a bunch of everyday people to come together and be able to give St. Jude's and Disabled American Veterans Fund a large chunk of money. We haven't done real well with that. And that part's a little disappointing, but it is what it is. So I'm going to keep talking about them. Ironically, I woke up today and started scanning through the channels, and there was one of the greatest movies it's like Die Hard in the sense that if it's on, I feel compelled to watch it. Die Hard, Shawshank Redemption, and The Fugitive. I don't care how many times I've seen it. If it's on, I'm watching it. The ironic part about The Fugitive is it takes place in Chicago, which I was in yesterday and got to experience for the first time, and see some of the buildings. Just kind of neat for me. So, not much on the agenda today. Today, honestly, I've got to take care of some business things. Some people ordered shirts about a week ago. I haven't gotten out yet. I've got to find a laundromat because I stayed at a relatively inexpensive hotel, so I can afford it. And I can only do that because some folks have been good to me. And I've got to just do some wash. I got to find a Walmart, which we found right here, and I got to find a Wells Fargo to go handle a little bit of banking issues. Actually, that's not going to do any good for me at all, is it? Wells Fargo is not open on Sundays. Bad planning by Jim. Damn, just thought about that. Alrighty, so I won't be doing any banking issues today. Delete that portion. I do want to kind of say thank you to somebody. So there's a few people that really helped me in a few different ways. So Steve Rizza has been kind of my navigator. He and I meant to do that in this video. I'm going to put out my next 5 days goal once I hit Missouri. But Steve has been my navigator, and what he does a lot for me is he kind of makes some things happen for me in the sense that if I tell him my itinerary, he'll kind of get out and do some Google searching of those towns and just kind of let those people know that I'll be coming into town later that day. And hopefully word spreads. Hopefully word gets to a local newspaper, or at least people look out for me, or maybe drive by on the highway and wave. Sometimes, like up in Woodstock, Illinois, Young lady Catherine was kind enough to say, hey, I'm not in town, but my restaurant is in town, and tell them to stop by. And she spread the word for me, and they welcomed me so graciously. But in addition, Steve will take things I say on these videos. If there's a message to be sent, if there's somebody I'm saying follow, like St. Jude's and things like that, and he goes out and he tries to contact these people just to let them know that they're being mentioned and that I appreciate what they do, and let them know they're being loved a little bit. And along with that is Lisa Welsh. She does a lot of that same thing for me. They've kind of been my two go-tos for a lot of that stuff, where she reaches out ahead. She's also the young lady that made the Phil Vassar video happen for me, which was crazy good. And then there's Glenn Trumbull. Glenn, he's my Twitter guy. He'll reach out if I mention somebody. He'll reach out to their Twitter sites and let them know that I'm speaking, about these folks, and let them know that they're appreciated and loved. And on that note, I got an email in my email box from, I mentioned earlier in my journey that there's two things I miss in the morning. I used to like to listen to sports talk radio, and I find a lot of the sports talk shows to be not all that appealing to me. Not any reason derogatory, they just didn't make me feel like I was pumped about it or whatever. But the two shows that I love the most, the Ben Maller show does overnights, and like I said, Ben, it's shtick and it's informative, but it's shtick, and it's just like camaraderie, like four guys hanging around the bar table or bars, just BS with each other. Ben's always going 1-on-3 with everybody. Anyway, Ben kind of shot me an email, said he heard the shout out, appreciated it, and that was pretty cool. So for those of you that made that happen, I greatly appreciate that. On that note, if you guys can do me a favor, so on Friday mornings, the Ben Maller Show does a thing called Lame Jokes of the Week. And they're bad, but they're so bad they're good most of the time. So you can podcast the Ben Maller Show, and I don't think they play all the ads in there or something like that, but towards the end of his show back east ends at 6 a.m. And so he usually does the lame jokes around 4:30 a.m. So if you podcast, it'll be somewhere in the middle. But man, I haven't heard his show in 5 or 6 weeks. So if somebody wanted to kind of have a project to do, go find last 5 Fridays of Ben's show, and let us know what the I don't know, the final joke is. He usually saves the best for last kind of thing. And that'd be great to see what those 5 lame jokes are, assuming they're able to be. Yeah, I'm sure if you could put them on the radio, we could put them on our site. So anyway, that'd be something really cool, guys. The other show I haven't I miss a lot, and again I've actually referenced him in some conversations, is Clay Travis, who one of the reasons I love Clay is that he'll address issues and give perspectives that people don't always see or don't always embrace, but that doesn't stop him from pointing it out. He tackles some ugly stuff. I don't always agree with him, but he's pretty spot on with some things, and he calls out like hypocrisies and double standards real well. And I missed that show too, but I haven't heard that. I tried to podcast Ben and Clay one day, but podcasted on my phone, listening to even music on my phone, anything just drains the battery, because I'm running the Facebook manager, because I'm talking to you guys all day long. And even though I got a battery backup charger that recharges it 5 times a day, I just found that it's, as much as I want to listen to these guys and catch up on them, I just don't have that power or savings or mega stuff I need. Anyway, so that's kind of the journey, the plan for today. I'm going to, I've already took my little vitamins, my lot of vitamins. We'll be leaving Hobart, Indiana sometime later this morning. The nice thing about today for me is, I get to drive. I miss being behind the wheel. But there's no deadline to get down towards the St. Louis area. I'm going to get to see parts of the country I've never seen before. I'm going to get to see, I'm probably going to cut down through Illinois, and I'm not sure how much of Indiana. We're going to cut down and see parts I've never seen before. So if we stop at a little place to get something to eat, or we stop at a little shop or an antique store, or what's open on Sunday in the middle of America, I don't know. But I'm going to see some little towns I've never seen before, so that's really neat. One thing I wanted to share with you guys that I didn't, maybe I can show it to you. So a couple times on this journey, I talked about a few things. One was in a complete honor when Kelly and Scott Rice gave me a pay it forward card on behalf of this 12-year-old girl, Rachel, whose untimely passing. Her parents wanted to celebrate her spirit, and I still have that safe and sound and dry. And that's going to be a really special person that gets that from me, because I find that a privilege. But one of the other things, another really special man I met in this journey gave me something before I left him. And so Gary Gartrell dropped me off in Woodstock just a couple nights ago. Before I left, he gave me, 4 crisp $10 bills. So it looked just like this. And he said, "Hey, when you open them, you'll understand." He said, "So take one for yourself and do for somebody else." And when I opened them, and I just thought this was a really cool idea. So in here, well, this is backwards, so I'm going to try to read it to you. There's a little note. Okay, a little note. And it says, Stephen W. Gartrell. Sorry, guys. Well, that's something I got to get today. Stephen W. Gartrell recently passed away. Stephen had a challenging life. In honor of Stephen, I hope this helps you in some small way. God bless you. And I thought, what a crazy, nice, selfless gesture that is, to recognize a family member that's no longer with us, that struggled with us, and be able to do something like this in a small way, right? Not calling attention to yourself, not doing it for any glory, but just to help another fellow human being. And he's given me the honor and privilege of being able to share these with some folks as I go along on my journey, and I intend to do just that. So I thought that was a really wonderful thing I'd never thought about, and remembering some of your loved ones. And anyway, so that's where we are with that. It's really about it for today. I need to, once I hang up this phone, I'm going to check on my Missouri journeys. Max in Bucyrus had told me about his friend Mary. I served in the Peace Corps with him. I've spoken with Mary. I believe I got to follow up with her today, but I think I've got a place to stay Sunday night, at least somewhere to kind of call and get some familiarity with StLouiis. I'll be crossing the Mississippi sometime tomorrow. To me, that's Chicago was a big high point, but I really think that's kind of an amazing thing, and I want to share that with you guys live streaming. I'm not sure if I can walk across whatever bridge to see the arch, or if that's a automobile only bridge, but walking across the Mississippi to share that with you guys is going to be really, I might even have a tear in my eye. I rarely get emotional on these things. I hope you guys know that. So anyway, I'm going to try to plot my next 5 days out. As I said, I've really got to start working on the desert plains, because by the time I get to the end of Missouri, heading down towards Oklahoma City, it's going to be sparse between some areas, and I got to figure out if I'm going to try to, get someone to take me on a tour of the state and drive me, or there's going to be some RV association that wants to come out and have a couple members come out and spend the night with me roadside. But as I said, I don't want to spend 3 days walking in the desert somewhere not to meet anybody. This journey is about the people and the stories I'm making along the way, and I hope you guys understand that as well. So, all right, thanks, guys. Have a great day. I love you. Kira, Grace, and Landon, you guys have a great week with Mom. Be safe out there near the ocean, and that's where we're at. So I love you guys. I'll talk to you later on today. Bye-bye.